Half of my blood can be traced back to valiant martyrs at Gettysburg and American pilots in the Second World War. The other half can be traced back to the scholars of Imperial China and the pains of the Cultural Revolution. As a half-Cantonese American, born and raised in the U.S., these legacies live on in me. I am intensely interested in the interaction between China and America, the two countries I owe my two names, Bokei and Audrey to. With its roots in colonial British rule, Hong Kong is a bustling metropolis of Eastern and Western fusion. In a way, it's two halves from two worlds just like me. My mother and grandmother are from Guangzhou. And growing up with their Cantonese and my father's English has sparked my lifelong interest in Hong Kong, the city where East meets West. For years, I've fed my fascination from my home in California, traversing the intrigue of Hong Kong's colonial roots through English documentaries, and navigating the emotion of the Hong Kong handover through Mandarin and Cantonese news clips. As I've studied Hong Kong's relationship with the West, I've nourished an adjacent fascination with China and its place on the world stage. Through the U.S. Department of State's National Security Language Initiative Scholarship, I traveled to Taiwan to study Mandarin abroad in a rigorous immersive environment. There, I discovered a wonderful sense of fulfillment in growing to understand people outside of my familiar American bubble. My time abroad inspired my career ambitions in international relations and foreign policy. Now, it leads me to Hong Kong, whose allure has been compounded after my immersion in Chinese culture studying abroad in Taiwan. At Hong Kong University, I am eager to learn more about Hong Kong, improve my Cantonese and Mandarin, and pursue a degree in China studies in a city I've long loved from afar. As a joint program between the Faculty of the Arts and the Faculty of Social Sciences at Hong Kong University, I'm extremely excited by the interdisciplinary lens the China Studies program sees China through. Reading through the course list, I was delighted to see electives like Phil to 480, Confucianism and the Modern World, where I could connect Neo-Confucianism to modern Chinese society and the way it interacts with Western philosophies like Marxism and capitalism. When I was studying in Taiwan, my interest in world philosophy led my host dad to quote this phrase from Confucius: "A gentleman knows what is moral, a villain knows what is profitable." The sentiment reminded me of its contrast with Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations and the profit-driven values of Western society. Just as reading Adam Smith gives insight into Western society, Confucius gives insight into Eastern society. I'm eager to be a part of Hong Kong University's China Studies program because of its comprehensive education in culture, politics, and history in pursuit of a deep understanding of China, an understanding indispensable for me as I strive towards a career shaping U.S. foreign policy with Greater China. Beyond the curriculum, I'm incredibly attracted to the diversity of the Hong Kong University China Studies learning environment. When I was in Taiwan, I learned Mandarin beside students from all over the U.S., most of whom did not share the typical values of Californian youth that I am used to. The friendly debates that broke out over meals and between classes about international policy and educational equity made each day exciting and eye-opening. I want to have those same debates on an international scale, with the even mix of local Hong Kong, mainland, and international students in the Hong Kong University China Studies program. As a microcosm of international and Chinese culture, living and learning in Hong Kong would equip me to analyze Greater China fairly from an equally American, Chinese, and international perspective. I've lived most of my life under California's blue skies, and plan on continuing here in the U.S. to pursue a job in foreign policy. In Berkeley's Global Studies major, I could specialize in Asia while studying the broader U.S. perspective on global interactions. I'm curious to take courses like Global 132, Conflict Resolution, Theory and Practice, whose case study of racial and cultural divides within the U.S. fascinates me. A biracial American who has spent my whole life walking the fine line of racial division within myself and my family, Its broader focus on the relationship between culture and global conflict would build on my in-depth cultural knowledge of China gained in Hong Kong, giving me a US-based perspective on conflict to compare with the one I would learn abroad. As I can personally attest from dinner table arguments, both the Chinese and American perspectives are crucial to solving problems between these two very different cultures. Outside of the classroom, I'm extremely interested in the Public Service Center and Berkeley's Cal in the Capital program. Through a summer in DC with the program, I would leverage my intimate knowledge of Greater China, alongside a Berkeley-derived education in global affairs with internships at the State Department or the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. I plan to ultimately work in Washington, and the crucial experience I gain in internships here will inform me of where I can create the biggest impact in a career forging the same cooperation between China and America that runs through my biracial veins. As I end my studies in my home state of California, I'd be delighted to stay connected to Hong Kong as a student and alumni of Hong Kong University as I work on its capstone research project. As a graduate of the Berkeley Hong Kong University program, I will have the credentials of two world-renowned research universities capable of genuine expertise in both America and China that builds perfectly on my dichotomous cultural background. I am a student of two races, seeking 2 degrees, looking forward to an exciting career in foreign policy, promoting mutual understanding between the two countries, China and America, that I owe my life to.